Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Yeah, this could be.
I don't have a blue pen. Apparently we don't have our 9 o'clock, you said, so I guess we'll table that till later. And Scott's got Jeff Anderson down in his office right now. He's down there with him. Maybe they can continue the discussion up here.
75:30, I think. Where's he at? Yep.
Hello.
Hi, Scott. We're ready for you.
Okay, I'll be up as soon as I can.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.
Jeff was wondering about fixing that road we talked about last week. He was concerned because they were working on the road that's level B next to Rembrandt, but not on his road.
Mm-hmm.
Scott was explaining they're starting at the far end of the county and working this way with complete overlays on the ones that are needed, that are on the schedule.
That road's on the schedule.
This year for overlay. So they're working, starting from far end, working back. They were using up the piles they had from last year, which they had not built off their piles because of the heavy snow this winter. So they're burning those up first, and then they're hauling from Pearl after that. So it's going to slow down. Jeff's concern was that they need to spot load on that road first and get it driven on to fix it, then do the overlay.
Well, just bad enough.
Morning.
Morning.
I was explaining to them what Jeff had mentioned to you. Concern. Probably relay what your thoughts on.
Yeah, just in general this year, with the way that the snow melted all of a sudden and the wet spring, we did more spot load rocking in the spring than we have since I've been here. And normally when we get done spot rocking and switch to end-to-end resurfacing, the roads are concrete hard, right? It's dried out and early June or whatever, and we switch to resurfacing and don't get many complaints about frost boils. But this year was totally different. I mean, you guys, if anybody was out traveling around, they saw that. So at the end of our spot rocking, we still had some frost boils out there. We still had, muddy spots that every time it rained, it gets greasy. And so at a certain point, we said the resurfacing program is so important, we just need to pause our spot rocking and switch to resurfacing. So now we're going end-to-end resurfacing, working our way across the county, and some of these soft spots are, going to seem neglected in the meantime. But, sometimes you got to put blinders on and focus on one job and make sure you get it done. So I feel for these people. Some of them got some issues to deal with, and hopefully they're on the list to be resurfaced, and hopefully that will cure the problem, at least in the short term. And if not, we'll try to address it afterwards. But there wasn't enough rock to go around this year. So that's kind of what we talked about, and we'll just do our best. And if anybody's got specific complaints, we'll try to talk through what the options are and what our plans are.
You didn't get your stockpiles built up.
That was the other thing. Normally through the winter, we get piles in Buffalo, Thompson, Lake Mills, and Sunnyside. And this year, because of all the hours we spent plowing, which you can see in the budget and the reports, we got Buffalo full, we got Thompson half full, we got Lake Mills full, Sunnyside is empty. So at a certain point in this resurfacing program, instead of quick routes from the piles, now we're going to be going all the way back and forth to Fertile. So it'll take a little bit longer once we get to that point as well.
Is, in your budget, did you have money left over for, rock purchase then from last year?
We spent over in rock. We had a little bit of surplus in the gravel, but that was only because we couldn't get that pile up, and we'll be spending that money here now, part of this fiscal year. So no, we didn't have any left over. We were spent up. So and then we'll see, all the hauling from Fertile now that isn't coming from a stockpile. That'll be over and above too. So
So some of your stockpile monies went towards the big roadstone that you had to put in because of the crosswalk.
yeah, so we're kind of trading out here a little bit, and we'll see this come back in the budget later on down the road when we stockpile next year. So we'll keep a close eye on that and try to keep a good projection. And might have to have a conversation about it later on.
What else you got going?
So we're now into new fiscal year. We're looking at the first purchase for our equipment replacement budget, new plow truck. Haven't gotten one in 2 years. So all the trucks are now 2 years older. Looking at about $230,000 for a truck, which is pretty comparable to the last one we got 2 years ago, except for the snow equipment has gone up about $10,000, and that's mainly just for steel prices with tariffs and whatever else you want to factor into the steel market. The snow equipment is all steel and hydraulics, and everything is steel related, so that's where most of the increase comes from. We'll be getting the same branded truck, a Western Star, and Christ Steel snow equipment. Of course, we'll get the Western Star from Don's truck in Fairbanks. The chassis will go up to Christ Steel to be outfitted there with the snow equipment. And with that process, it takes a while, and may have the truck put together by March or April. It takes a while. It's really pretty inconvenient that it takes that long, but it's all kind of custom built for everything that we use, and snowplow truck that fits all the belly blade and the front mount blade and box and all that kind of stuff. So next week I'll have a resolution for the purchase of the truck, the final quote numbers, the specs, and some more information on our existing fleet, mileage, and details for the oldest piece of equipment that it would be hypothetically replacing. That one will probably keep until the next auction. Is there any specific information that you'd like to see before then?
About that.
What's that?
About that equipment.
Yeah. If you have any questions next week, just give me a buzz or something like that. Otherwise, I'll try to get something put together and email that for you before the meeting.
So the plow equipment, does it get that beat up that it, because I would assume that the stuff that's on the current trucks would probably fit on the new truck.
Yeah, I can't say for sure if it would fit perfectly, but they really take a beating. I mean, a lot of them have been torn off the truck a couple times and remounted, and I don't know all the plow equipment, but the most recent one I'm familiar with was on Doug Bollinger's truck in Fort City, and the plow had holes in the top, and he had to patch it so the snow wouldn't fly up into his windshield while he's plowing. And they just sand or salt contact their entire life, and just.
Are we still using Oshkoshes?
We do have 2 in use, one out of Buffalo, one out of Fort City, that have gravel routes.
I've seen the one at Buffalo several times this year.
I'd say.
How old are they?
How old are they? I think they're late 80s.
Yeah.
They were bought used at some point. We will be most likely phasing those out as they,
Replace
die.
that with what?
A maintainer, just have more standby maintainers. Maintainers much more versatile. Things like the soft springs are
The
pretty.
next time we do buy a maintainer, then we won't be selling a road.
Depends on how our Oshkosh's perform. At any point they could, drop a transmission or something like that. It probably won't be economical to fix it, and then we'll kind of make a decision at that time. But
They still take 2 people around?
no, just one. Just one. I don't know when that transition was, but I hear stories about that. But ideally,
The one I do the 360s down the blacktop at 2 guys. That was in 1979.
Well, it takes 2 guys to do a 360.
2 360s and a 180.
Not good.
Looked like it was fun.
How about bridge work? Where we at on that?
So the two contract bridges are complete, and we're working on finalizing documents and getting the final payments out. Contractor's been paid the majority of the project costs already. Our local bridges will be, looks like we'll be starting by Ted Thompson's there northwest of Thompson on the pipe that's been in the ditch there for a little while, and then moving on to the next pipe before we start on boxes. I haven't got a start date on that yet, but I would think in the next few weeks.
That pipe's been sitting there, what, 9 months?
Was it delivered last fall? Yeah, again, you see symptoms of the harsh winter and a wet year last year persisting into now, so.
Well, with the drier weather now would be the time to get going.
Yep. The crew's been busy getting work orders and driveways and crossroad pipes, tile repairs, all that kind of stuff. They've been moving around from job to job pretty quickly, so hopefully they have that in a pretty decent condition before we switch to bridging, because once we switch to bridging, we're on bridges for, the duration of the summer until maybe November, and we can get some last minute other repairs done.
Anything else?
That's it.
You have anything? All right, don't have anything further. All right, thanks, Scott.
Mm-hmm.
There you have Chris.
Are you in up in the restaurant down there?
Hi, Chris, we're ready for you.
My wife works there as a server, so sometimes I help out then.
Was she a waitress?
Yeah, and you should see her when she's not pregnant. Even quicker.
Say you went to Cafe Mirror.
I'm not for you.
Saturday night.
I haven't been there for a while, but I think he's been there it's fun to do with a larger,
Yeah.
Choice.
turtle.
The only criticism I have, they won't adjust the heat. You gotta take it the way they give it to you. Mine came pretty rare.
Probably should have given that one to me then.
Okay.
Hey.
You got anything for us on drainage?
I do not.
Nothing at all. Hasn't been raining yet.
I mean, everything seems to be going okay, so.
How about Minnesota? Where are we at with them?
I have to get with that Dustin still.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't get a hold of the Woogie kid on the whole deal.
On the whole.
Intertweet's son called me. There's gonna be, I don't know how extensive, but there's some couple really bad slump ins
Okay,
right south there. Maynard's place, not,
and where's that? Is that north of Lake Mills?
no, south,
It is south.
Is that Valley or Center?
Lot Valley,
Is that DD5?
5, yeah.
Oh my gosh, please don't.
Sorry, it's bad,
That ditch is a nightmare.
yeah.
Also due to the timing of, well, when we did it, or? or the consistency
Well,
of the material.
it hasn't had time for the grass to get roots again.
yeah, it just has never dried out.
Well, I know
I've talked to a
that-
couple different people on it and they're like, it just,
I just noticed like on DD1, when you look at the steepness of the bank and it's not growing back, you know, the top's gonna end up sloughing down past the,
are they not doing the slopes right?
I don't know if they're widening it out at the bottom too far to where you get into the side slope and, 'cause it's like 10, 15 foot up that they're taking the sidewalk.
Well, we have rules on the slope.
Right.
Let me just, on 69, when you look to the
Yeah.
west, or if you go down the R50 blacktop, north of my dad's place there, you look at the ditch there, and it just,
I think I'll call Rick and have him have his guy come and just spot check DD1 and DD5.
What is it, 2 to 1? Not less than 2 to 1?
I think so. That's what I remember.
but it's not growing back, and
Yeah.
I'm just worried that the rest of it's gonna slough in there.
Raging Buffalo Creek, South Buffalo Center's got the same issue. It's straight up and down, it's just.
Is that a ditch though? Is that or is that the natural?
I suppose it's probably natural, I would guess.
I still have never gotten any money for that joint, that tri-joint to clean out this Buffalo Creek. So, good thing that we all had that meeting and the landowners were so excited.
Oh, I know a couple of the ones that are ready to pony it up, just haven't, I think maybe, haven't got that third one to do it.
And I told them I don't want any money until I have it all. I don't want to hold somebody's money forever. So,
It's probably a Thompson Coffee Shop then, at a certain time of day. Stop.
anything else?
Dave, you wanna cover that one? Thompson Coffee Shop?
I certainly could.
I'm sure you wanna talk drainage with the guys.
So say go in there and straighten all the drainage out.
I love drainage.
I mean, every time we talk drainage, here's David sitting at the edge of the seat.
I got a question about 21 up by rate.
Mhm.
Do you know how you're sitting for getting that fixed? Or I got a couple of culverts on our side of the ditches in my farm there, and they've been slowly been pushed into the ditch somewhat. And Bill was up there earlier this year.
Okay. I just got the email yesterday and sent it to the papers that the bid letting is going to be August 6th.
Oh,
So that went out to the contractors and to the newspapers. So August 6th, we'll figure out who gets the contract, when they're going to start, and get that all done.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think last time they added another culvert next to one that was there. They just put dirt on top, no riprap or rock or anything to kind of stabilize it all.
Is that in the road ditch?
No, it's in
No,
that
it's-
up my field. We get a lot of water from the south, especially from the south, and a lot from the east, and it's
Okay.
a line between, two rivers. It's in a small scale what Iowa is, but I mean,
So if you want to, I can give you the engineer's phone number, and if you wanted to talk to him about those culverts, to make sure that that gets looked at.
They can't miss it.
Well, I don't know if it's gonna be part of the bid or not,
Well,
you know what I mean, I don't know.
fixing the pipes is usually, don't they do that as they go usually?
The outlet pipes?
I'm assuming that they would have, if the engineer went out there and looked at it, that they would repair it.
Yeah, because they repair the outlet pipes when they do the cleaning.
yeah, okay.
I mean, that's just standard practice.
But you could call them and talk to them about your concern about riprap and
Are they here in the building here then?
No, they're out of Emmitsburg or Esterville.
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 Okay, okay,
Yeah,
sure.
so I can give you that phone number.
Sure.
You bet.
Yeah, I hate to see that, all that dirt being washed too. I guess my other concern is that, I know with cost of land, everybody's trying to get as much out of the production from that ground and not spend much money on waterways. And it would help a lot if the guys would take the responsibility to put some waterways on their own property, help that silt from being washed down the tubes. And I hate to have the government come in and say, this is what you gotta do into this, whatever. My 10 showed up finally after getting caught up with you know, if there were rain delays with the farming. And we put in 3 different spots, one up very south of the farm where crumbs cross A16, and then a couple places close to the ditch, and just to try to get a little something there to stabilize that soil. But I wish people could, I'm not sure what the best way to do it, get people's interest into, you know, try to save the soils, if you will.
Yeah, if you come up with a good plan, let us know.
I will. That's kind of putting out here, because you hate to force somebody to do it, but yet.
Well, you know, up in Minnesota, they require filter strips, don't they? In Minnesota.
Well, I've got a farm in Minnesota too, right on the state line, and with the new governor, I hear bad reports about, well, everything's more expensive, I think because of the government and stuff, but, you know, it's been in the family for a number of years, so I'm kind of stuck with it. Yeah, I'll sell back later.
Yeah, when I'm done, I can just work with
I
you.
appreciate that.
We do have a tool we can use. If it can be shown that they are dumping silt into it, they have to clean it out at their expense.
And that's what we're working on that
Yeah.
one, the landowner up to the northeast here, that we made a directive to him that we're gonna have it fixed if he doesn't bill it back.
Yeah, I know people are getting more tile put into as they get in the seed too, and the ditches, the tile system is not able to handle that much water, especially like this year's been a good example. And, you know, it's kind of antiquated. You have the cost of redoing it. It's going to be astronomical too then. So, what do you do?
Just shifting the water from one spot to another sometimes, because there's no way to get rid of the water altogether.
Yeah, there'd be the umbrella.
Anything else for drainage? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Open forum. Anybody got anything for open forum? Is that one person that with their fireworks from them?
No, I tried to call her several times and I can't get a hold of them, so I don't. Here's a letter. Here's the rest of the payroll, and these are the claims.
Anything else for open forum? Consider for approval, semi-monthly county claims.
I've seen them. I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion from Stenzer and a second from Jensvold to approve the semi-monthly county claims. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Payroll claims. never know, he's the chair of one part of it, and I'm the chair of the other. So you have a cold or sinuses.
Yeah, bronchitis. Nobody gets time for that.
You're not supposed to get that this time of year.
No.
Classmates, conservation. Rick Reynolds is on there. Yeah.
Yeah, it has been one of those.
Yeah, no. He was looking to drive the school bus too.
He was.
He
Must be doing both.
okay.
I've seen him out to the gas pumps.
He must have a little retirement from it all for the league or something. Sick.
Yeah. It only lasts so long though.
Yeah.
Gasco's having a sale.
Is he?
Yeah.
Fish.
Free.
Oh, his nickname has been Inch for
Ish.
many, many years. Since high school, I
What is
assume.
he, about 6'5"? He's big.
I don't know if he's quite that tall, but, you know,
To
he's
me, he's big.
nice guy, he's tall. I am.
Open the town. Get rid of this stuff.
His brother, I think he's graduated, was 5'8", graduated with my dad. And now he's, a few years into college, he was like 6'4", since that.
I graduated 5'8", 5'9", Randy, I think, 6
6'1".
inches after.
Yeah,
Well, you didn't see Wendell when he was a freshman.
he was really short then, was he?
He actually got paid in some procedures. Doubt if he was even 5'1" back then. Well, find out tomorrow. What I was hoping was my last appointment was actually the plastic surgeon that did work. Problem is, the distal is not bending. This is bending, do that, get strength out of that. The therapist and physical therapist and Lake Nelson thinks there might be scar tissue here that's attached to the tendon and not allowing you to. So I'm hoping that's all it is. I just gotta keep massaging it and try to work it loose. It's just a lot of work to get it moving.
Hopefully they don't decide to amputate it.
Well, it might be simpler. If it's just gonna stick out, the goods are gonna do.
Yeah, so this middle finger on the garage door, and it smashed it, and it just sticks straight up, it doesn't move, and he said it'd been easier because it gets caught on everything.
Yeah.
Over there, it's just in the way.
Oh, and this one I completely cut off, and so that was it. But they didn't have to repair anything up here, so there was really no scar there. And once they got the tendon there, the only scarring was down here, and didn't see the problems. They look good.
How did you completely cut it off?
I was running dump truck out in Colorado, and there was a cross auger on the back that fed out there they have volcanic ash, cinders, and they don't have salt in them, so it freezes up. I was chopping it out, and it was just sitting there slowly moving. And it built a trough, frozen trough there. I was brushing the tailgate off, sucked my glove in. It was slow. I didn't feel a thing. It was my hands were so cold at the time that it ruined a brand new pair of Pioneer gloves. You know, the really nice gloves you used to have with the little flowers.
A brand new pair of Pioneer.
Never wore another pair of those again. They always didn't fit well,
Yeah.
but it was Pioneer.
Never mind that finger.
I was the only one out in Colorado that had Pioneer gloves. No, no what?
The blue fuzzy ones you said?
Well, they were
Or the,
the tan ones that sit in my
oh, okay, they're
I
kind
mean,
of
they
leather
were
up
cheap
then.
built.
But no, I've seen those Pioneer ones, they got the blue fuzzy cloth material.
My grandpa lost his first finger in a feed grinder. And they tried to put it back on, but it never took, so they just ended up taking it off. It went really good in church when we were little, because he'd always play do the this with his finger, you know, like you. And then we'd get in trouble because Grandpa would make us giggle in church.
He never would though.
What's that?
He never would.
Oh, yeah, he would.
He would?
Grandma would let him have it too.
Watched the home run derby last night.
No, I watched, Northwood Kansas, wasn't a home run derby, but it sure was a hitting derby. It's our softball girls hit their last game last night.
Vladimir,
We had a rookie from,
20 years, 114 days old, junior. His dad was in 12 years ago.
oh, is that right?
He got into a head-to-head battle with, they ended up, 29-29, so they had to go to the tiebreaker. And by the time they're all said and done, he won 40-39. They were, I mean, they drained them, so got into the finals, and then I don't think he had what it needed at the end.
Carla, what is, E 16145 Winnebago County PD1? What's the E, so 161?
That's it.
How about that?
Well, I think that's just what Jacobson Westergaard names the projects.
Oh, okay.
I think it's-
Their system.
fuming,
Fuming, you
it's just fuming right now.
why's that?
I mean, the Central Station,
Mm,
our sister station. On Saturday afternoon, we were hacked, and both of our computers, everything went down.
no kidding.
And we have, Carl and our two IT guys have been struggling mightily, but we're just having one hell of a time. Couldn't even get ball games on the air last night. The source of this thing came from China somewhere, at least that's what they're saying.
Oh, really?
And I just got a text that we're still having issues with our Brit station. We couldn't even get the softball game on the air last night. It was a good game up until about the 6th inning, and then all hell broke loose. It was a hell of a pitcher duel. And then we're getting right to the 7th, and then all of a sudden, I find out from our engineer, we haven't had the game on. And I've got audience people turning on, yelling at me, where's the game? Where's the game? Can't hear it on the stream. I don't know. I just call the games. Just find out we have more problems. It's like it just never ends. This has been a 4-day thing. Carl has been at the station almost 4 days straight. Aside from when he's had to have to go out to umpire because there's a shortage of them. He's been at the station non-stop. Spends time in my office when there's downtime, watches television, try to catch up, and then goes back out, back to work on the computers again. And they're still fighting it, whatever it is. We had all our commercials from here back to January 1st are gone. We had to recreate every single one of them. We got messes across the board in programming, you name it. It's just been happening. And now, more bright news. So, he's texting me, letting me know what I'm walking into when I get to work.
You'd rather sit here and talk about drainage, wouldn't you?
I would love to talk about drainage. I think sloughing and riffraff are some of the most exciting things I have ever heard. And unfortunately, we don't have more of it. We don't have any more about what's going on with auditing. We don't have any more about what's going on with recording. I'm devastated. I'm kind of disappointed in you guys.
Well, we could spend some time on Beaver Ears if you'd like.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be wonderful. I would love to see what that would be all. I want to do that.
The bounty on the cost of removal of silt.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a,
Did we come up with a cost on the rock stock piles? Did he say anything about that?
Well, it was probably in the year-end report, wasn't it? I was wondering, the financial that she sent out, I wonder if it was part of that. I'd probably ask Scott. If he's
I'll call him. I know he's out working like a dog right now.
He probably finished up his year-end report.
I'd like to find out. I mean, 360th is okay, except for dirt's coming up in some places. But it's much more drivable now that everybody under the sun has driven on it and literally leveled it out.
The biggest thing is we probably lost a lot of our stockpile monies to the repair monies of the bigger rock, frost boil repair.
I understand that completely. I don't know how many that he came out, they graded 360, they fought that thing, and they're still fighting it, right in front of her station. And I know Angela bottomed out her car, and a couple of other people have kind of torn their car up going down that road. Still wish it was paved, but we can't have everything,
I'm gonna make a motion to approve the payroll claims.
second.
A motion from Derby and a second from Sandra to approve the payroll claims. All those in favor say aye.